Hello everyone, welcome back to TechPulse, and today we're going to be having a look at the Sonos Play 5 Gen 2. I've owned my Play 5 for just under a year now, so with plenty of listening hours on the record, I think it's a great time to take a look at the speaker and tell you what I think about it and if you should add it to your Sonos system. First, let's look at the design and build quality. My Play 5 is the matte black model, although you can get a matte white model, which has actually been slightly changed with the recent facelift on the speaker, which has simply seen a white grow added to the white one as opposed to the black one, which was seen on this model. The main body itself is actually made of a very solid plastic. The speaker weighs in at 6.3 kilos, so it's definitely not light. It's obviously not a portable speaker, so this doesn't really matter, but this just reinforces the overall robustness and design quality of the Sonos Play 5. I understand that a lot of people may shy away from using plastic-based materials when it comes to designing a high-end speaker, but rest assured Sonos have done this very well and nothing on the Play 5 feels close to cheap whatsoever. On the front we see again a plastic mesh grille. This is slightly lighter in tone to the body of the speaker, but again it isn't a flimsy grille. It has some sort of framework behind it which is visible in some lights which supports it, but it doesn't look bad by any means. It fits with the minimalistic design which this speaker is clearly approaching, and it's accompanied by a Sonos logo on the front, which is actually a palindrome, so no matter what way you place the speaker, it always reads the same. That's pretty cool. The approach to minimalistic yet functional design is seen across the whole range of Sonos products, so this isn't just the Play 5 which does this. But with the design being pretty simple, there's not a lot to cover, so now let's take a look at the features on the Play 5. The Play 5 is definitely not short on features. Although it may look a very simple speaker, there's plenty that it has to offer to any consumer. Let's start at the back of the speaker. On the back of the Play 5 there's the power input for the cord, there is an Ethernet port should you wish to use this speaker on a wired network as opposed to a Wi-Fi network. Next to the Ethernet port is a line-in port which can be used for things like turntables, a great idea considering this is a hi-fi style speaker and delivers very high quality sound. And next to the line-in port there is the only physical button on this speaker, which is simply used once or twice in the speaker's lifetime, and that's there to initiate the setup process. If you don't use this speaker on an Ethernet network, there is only one wire required, and that's the power cord, which fits incredibly well again with this minimalistic design. On the top of the Play 5 you'll see touch controls. These aren't physical buttons, but they do work very well. With a single tap in the centre, you can play and pause your music. With a tap on the left or the right, you can increase and decrease the volume, and when you do so, you'll get a beep like this. And upon swiping from left to right or right to left across these touch controls, you can actually use them to change forward a track and back a track. On the ends of the speaker, there are small rubber feet just like on the bottom. This is for if you want to actually get another Play 5 and add them into a left and right stereo pairing, a great way to further widen the soundstage from these great sounding multi-room speakers. However, even if you don't have a second Play 5, you can still do this. It simply changes your Play 5 sound profile into more of a mono sound using the gyroscopes which pick up the movement from inside the speaker. However, the biggest features lie within the app support of the speaker and the way it can be controlled. The Sonos app is free to download on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, and it is required to set up the speaker. Within the app you can see things like the integration of music services from Apple Music and Spotify to Deezer and SoundCloud and many more. You can even play Sonos' new recently added feature called Sonos Radio through the app, or you can use it to play TuneIn, which is an online based radio network used to stream all radio channels from digital radio. Further into the settings you can go as far as controlling things like the EQ on this speaker, so you can turn on and off the loudness setting, you can adjust the balance left and right, you can adjust the treble, I have mine on +2, and you can also adjust the bass, which, even being a lover of the bass, I actually have the speaker on bass -1. As I mentioned, you can integrate your music services within the Sonos app, meaning that you don't have to keep exiting and switching between apps, a particularly user-friendly and handy feature to have on the Sonos systems. However, if you're an Apple user, these do have AirPlay 2 support, a way to have lossless audio streaming, but directly from your music app, whether this be Apple Music, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, or others. Personally, I actually prefer to use AirPlay. I find it easier than opening the Sonos app, but that's not to say that the Sonos app is hard to use. It isn't. It accounts for a very friendly user experience. But obviously the most important thing about this speaker, with it being a high-end speaker, is how does it sound? In a nutshell, the Sonos Play 5 sounds brilliant. It has a really rich sound with a great wide soundstage on it, desirable for, I would say, any listeners, probably even the more critical audiophiles or audio professionals out there. It does this using 3 tweeters, which are seen in the top of the speaker, one facing forward, a left and a right channel, both facing outwards in funnels to help widen the soundstage. And on the bottom of the speaker, there are 3 mid-woofers, 4 inches in diameter, so 0.5 inches bigger than those seen in the Sonos One, and obviously there's 3 of them, so you do get very deep, powerful bass from this speaker. The treble is very sharp on this speaker. Personally, I've never had it above 2. +2 seems to be the sweet spot for it, but obviously TruePlay does have an effect on this, which we'll discuss in a minute. The bass is very deep, yet distortion free on this speaker. I was quite amazed at how it can play all the way down to 20 Hz, still audibly and without distortion. And with this all being said, I must admit that no matter what genre of music you seem to listen to through it, it always pleases the listener. I've even had many friends look at the speaker and be quite shocked at how it produces the sound all just from one unit, but I totally agree with them. So on the subject of TruePlay, as I mentioned, tunes the sound to the room or the position that the speaker is in. For me, it seems to make the treble slightly more pronounced and crisper, something I like, but it also controls the bass a lot better. So without having to turn down the bass and lose the really low end, it allows you to stop the high frequencies from resonating too much in your room, but also still have the low frequencies, as this speaker is really good at producing them, so why would you want to not hear it? I will admit that at first I wasn't all that impressed by TruePlay. Maybe I didn't set it up properly, but personally I thought it made the sound quite empty and flat, but upon retuning it and probably doing it properly, I actually really like it and I prefer to listen to the speaker with it on. It is important to note though that if you do move the speaker, the TruePlay tuning won't be accurate to where it is and you will need to retune it each time it gets moved. However, with these being non-portable bass speakers and in-home Wi-Fi based speakers, it's highly unlikely that you're going to find yourself moving the speaker about a lot. I'm sure along with my explanation of the sounds, you'd probably want to hear it yourself. Obviously my microphone isn't going to give you a perfect demonstration of how it sounds in person. I use a Rode Video Micro, but now I'm going to play you a quick demo of the sound from the speaker so you can gauge yourself a little bit just how good it sounds. Having owned the Play 5 for now almost a year and listening to it on an almost daily basis, I've been really impressed with the sound. Overall, I would say it's a nice, rich and clear sound with plenty of bass to even make me smile, but also the perfect balance of treble to stop you from getting muffled sound. I think it's fair to say that it's the perfect addition to any Sonos home system, especially if you're a user with large rooms or large spaces to fill, or a user who just wants really pure sound. I hope this video has given you a little bit more of an insight to the Sonos Play 5 and answered any questions you may have. Feel free to have a look on my channel for further sound demos of the speaker to come in the future, but if this video didn't answer some questions that you have, feel free to click the link in the description to go to my website and read my written review on this speaker, or comment your questions down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. That leaves me nothing else to say other than feel free to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. And this was my Sonos Play 5 review. Thank you for watching.